Let's do some cooking.
You tagged me on this ramen cheese recipe, so I gotta try it. The recipe is super simple. You need a couple sticks of butter. Add in some heavy cream. I use milk to be more healthy. A couple slices of cheese, and most importantly, sriracha. And that's pretty much it. Make sure to add in your ramen and then stir, stir, stir. Thank you so much for this recommendation. Really creamy, really cheesy and spicy. I love it.
Honey jalapeno chicken thighs will be your new favorite dish to make for the holidays, and this Tabasco jalapeno marinade takes it to the next level. To make the marinade, start out with some oil and add garlic, chili powder, salt, and honey. Then we're going to use our secret ingredient, which is my favorite Tabasco jalapeno sauce, to brighten this all up. Also add some lime juice, mix that all together, and you'll have the perfect balance of sweet and spicy. We're going to use some bone-in skin-on chicken thighs, and make sure to get that marinade underneath the skin and all around. Place them on a wire rack and pop them in the oven to roast at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, making sure to baste it halfway through. When they're beautifully golden and fully cooked, take them out of the oven. And finally, our last step is to enjoy.
This salad is the reason I married my husband. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. It's really that good. And you're going to use this as a chance to practice your chopping skills, so take your time and relax. First start with the cucumber, then move to the red onion. Make it as small as you possibly can. Use a tomato knife when you're chopping tomatoes. I promise it's going to make it so much easier. I also like to add black olives. You don't have to. They're Kalamata olives, actually. And the dressing is the juice of 2 lemons, olive oil, and salt. We finish this off in literally a minute. Look at that chop.
If you're obsessed with matcha, you're gonna fall in love with these chewy matcha white chocolate chip cookies. They're perfectly crispy on the edges and super soft in the center. First, you're gonna whisk together all-purpose flour, cornstarch, baking soda, salt, and matcha. Then cream together your butter and sugar, add the eggs, vanilla extract, and combine the dry with the wet. Just add the white chocolate chips, scoop them, and bake them to perfection. Also, a pro tip to flatten them out, bang the pan a few times right when they come out of the oven. And they'll turn out looking beautiful like this with a very bold matcha flavor. All that's left to do is enjoy with a matcha latte to dip in.
Let's make the ultimate Nashville hot chicken tenders. First up, slice the chicken breast into tenders. Add to a container with buttermilk and the spices.
Allow to marinate in the fridge for at least an hour or up until overnight.
Once the chicken is marinated, we need to make the dry dredge. Combine the flours and the remaining spices.
Now for the wet mix.
Add 2 eggs to the buttermilk from the chicken marinade, pickle juice, hot sauce, and the MSG. Preheat a pot with veggie oil. Whisk in a tablespoon of your wet mix to your dry. Now we're ready to coat our chicken into the dry mix, wet mix, and then finally the dry mix again. This is what we're aiming for. Carefully place your chicken into the fryer. While the chicken's frying, combine all the ingredients for the spice oil mix. After 6 to 8 minutes, it's time to pull the tenders out of the fryer, and just look at how crispy they are. Coat them immediately with the hot spice oil. Grab a slice of bread and top it with both tenders and a pickle on each. And boom, there we have the ultimate Nashville hot chicken tenders. Dig in and enjoy.
Let's do some cooking.
I think we can all agree that the best thing at Panda Express is their orange chicken, so today we're going to learn how to make it at home and even better. Start out by cutting your chicken thigh, and of course you can use chicken breasts instead. Then you're going to prepare your dry batter and wet batter. Squeeze some fresh orange juice and use that to make your orange glaze along with soy sauce, rice vinegar, sesame oil, garlic, ginger, red pepper flakes, and brown sugar. Then we'll add in a cornstarch slurry to thicken it all up. All that's left to do is batter the chicken, fry it until golden brown, and toss it in the sauce. The full tutorial is up on YouTube right now.
Out of all the ways to eat potatoes, I always go back to potato wedges. Start with yellow potatoes and parboil for 8 to 10 minutes. Add the spices to avocado oil and drizzle over the potatoes, sprinkle with salt, mix together, and arrange the seasoned potatoes on a baking tray with the skin side facing down. Bake for 45 minutes or until they've got a golden edge. I made a dipping sauce to go with these by combining mayo, mustard, honey, lemon juice, garlic powder, dried parsley, and some salt. Mix it up and it's ready to enjoy.
This video went viral on my Instagram with almost 80,000 likes, and I think this is why. 1, you put uncooked pasta into the recipe, but I promise you it gets cooked in the oven. And 2, I think this pasta shape makes people go crazy. What do you think?
Let's do some cooking.
A buffalo chicken wrap was my favorite thing to order when I was in uni, so here's how I make it at home using baked instead of fried chicken. I season my chicken with everything that you see on the screen. I use this specific buffalo sauce, mix it all in, and for the coating I like to use arrowroot starch, 3 eggs whisked together, and some panko breadcrumbs seasoned with everything that you see on the screen. Adding avocado oil to the panko also helps them get really crispy in the oven. For the coating, I start by dipping it into the starch, then into the egg mixture, and then into the panko breadcrumbs. Toss over some panko and then firmly press it in. Place your tenders onto a baking tray lined with parchment paper and bake them for about 20 minutes, flipping halfway through. Once they turn a golden brown, they're ready. For the wrap, add a generous amount of this buffalo sauce to your chicken tenders and coat them evenly. Add your chicken tenders to a whole wheat wrap, lettuce, tomato, avocado, and spicy mayonnaise. Wrap up your tortilla and throw it in the grill for a crispy exterior, and enjoy.
Noodles and then just kind of stir them around in the sauce. Crack an egg in the...
This ramen recipe has been blowing up on TikTok and it's just too interesting not to try. First, heat up your ramen. As that's going, heat up a stick of butter. Chopped up a bunch of garlic, about a few cloves. I didn't measure this, I just added a bunch of soy sauce, which was my demise. I didn't have chili flakes, so I used sriracha sauce. Then add in some brown sugar, and I should have probably added more. Add in some ramen water. Now bring the ramen into the sauce. I also added in more ramen water. Let the ramen emulsify with the sauce, and then crack an egg in there. Turn off the heat and stir, stir, stir. I didn't have everything bagel seasoning, so I used seaweed and scallions as my toppings. Let's see how it goes. I ended up adding way too much soy sauce, which made it too salty. I think with less soy sauce, it could have been really good.
Hey y'all, I got this recipe from Matt over at Cooker of Deliciousness. I wanted to stitch his video, but I don't really know how to TikTok, so I couldn't figure that out. Anyway, my store was out of the thin crust pizza dough like he used, so I used a regular crust and just rolled it out a little bit to be thinner. Added Italian seasoning and garlic powder, mozzarella, provolone. I didn't have big pepperonis like he used, so I just used what I had. Rolled it up, cut it up. He baked his, I think, on the grill. I did these in the oven, and they turned out really good. I didn't have the garlic butter he used, so I made my own. Thanks, Matt, for the recipe.